Hey, I want to welcome everyone back to Real Food Vlog. This is a quick segment on refried beans. Those of us that like to cook our beans from, from dried beans, or if you have a can of just pinto beans, a can of pinto beans, right, that aren't fried up yet, you can do this. There's a couple tricks to it, so let's get started, okay? So basically what we're working with is pretty simple because the beans have been cooked. I usually cook them in a crock pot, with some salt and a little bit of garlic and pepper. Pepper is key, okay? Cover them in water, let them go for about 10 hours overnight in the crock pot. If not, the other way to do them is to pre-soak them. And you can look that up on our blog as well. You can look up this pre-soak method on the beans. Just look up pinto beans or pre-soak method, and it'll show you a video of how to do the pre-soak, what I'm talking about. You can do the pre-soak, and you can do them on the stovetop and simmer them for about an hour and a half, okay? And you can do it that way as well. So I forgot to put them in the crock pot last night before we went to bed, so I had to do them on the stovetop this morning. They had been soaked overnight, the dried beans had been. But if you don't have dried beans, you can still do this. You can just use the canned pinto beans, the whole beans, and you can refry them. So basically you have the beans, they're already seasoned up with salt from cooking them, right? So I don't have to do too much where that's concerned. This is more light here. And then so I've got a cast iron skillet with any type of oil. Now, I'm using bacon fat, okay? The reason that I am is because you can use manteca, which is lard, and you also can use butter, and you can use vegetable oil, or any other types. You can use canola oil or whatever else. The reason I'm doing it with bacon fat is because that's one of the porks that we have, okay, on a regular basis. And so I render down the bacon, use the fat, blah, 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 right? You don't have to do that. I just feel like, I don't know what goes into manteca at the processing center. I do know what goes into it here at the Ortega Processing Center, right? So that's just FYI. So the oil should be pre-hot, okay? You need the oil pre-hot to refry these. And by the way, you don't even have to use any oil. Now, they won't be real refried beans, they won't have the flavor, but you'll still have the texture. They'll be pretty darn good, they'll be pretty darn close. But if you want to save on the fat, you do not have to fry them in it. The other thing, too, I almost forgot, my uncle's going to kill me, is ketchup. Okay? I don't know. Don't ask me. He's old school Mexican, and he knows what he's doing, so I can't take credit for this either. Now, he uses lard, though. I'm not using that today, but I'm using the pork fat, like I said. Okay, so basically, what we do is, okay, my high-tech studio here at the home. Okay, so basically we have it on high heat. You want to take the beans, and you want to drain off as much of the liquid because it's going to splatter, okay? And so I've got a splash guard here if needed, okay? So basically, you just take all the beans. Okay, reserve the liquid of the beans, okay? Because we're going to add that to these beans once we have mashed them up. Then get a potato masher, okay? So we're high tech here on Real Food Vlog. We got a potato masher, okay? So be careful with this. This is very delicate equipment. But I think this is handed down from my parents, I bet, because I think I used to remember seeing it at Thanksgiving and Christmases when people made mashed potatoes, right? But anyway, so now you just start mashing the beans, okay? And typically I would add some seasoning. I'm not going to do that just because they've seasoned up pretty well. I'm going to taste them here when I'm done and just double check to see if they need any salt or pepper or anything else. Okay. One of the great things I like about doing it in the crock pot is not only is it easy, I don't have to worry about them being on the stove and looking after them. When I do in the crock pot overnight, then about, I don't know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, it starts smelling like beans, delicious beans, right? With the garlic, the chili powder, the cumin, some salt and pepper. So now I've got these beans pretty mashed up, okay? Check it out. Okay, you see that? They're pretty mashed, right? So now is when we add, you don't have to do this, is totally optional obviously, but the ketchup trick, I don't know what it does. I think there's some sweetness in it, and the tomato does something just like that. That's it. Okay, you don't have to do it. Okay, so now that these are pretty much, the liquid that was in them has been pretty much reduced down, okay? And so now at this point, that's when we're going to add the reserve liquid to them. Okay, put this aside. Okay? And now, basically, once they come up to a boil again, what we're going to do is we're just going to let them simmer for about 5-10 minutes at the most, until some of that liquid is absorbed. Now, one of the things is you can serve. You can serve them right away, or you can keep them warm, reheat them. That's what I love about the beans. But what I was going to say is that depending upon how you like them, you reduce them however much you want, basically. Okay, there's no right or wrong with this. Okay, you like your beans a little more runny, or you like them a little more dry. It's up to you. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You be the judge of that. But basically, just make sure they don't stick. Okay. But now that they're bubbling away, like that. Okay. Typically, this is when I turn them off, let them just finish cooking on the cast iron skillet. It's got a lot of residual reheat that will do that. So this is just basically 101 on refried beans. That's all it is. Okay, very simple, very just a simple couple ingredients. You can do it with anything. Like I said, you can use with black beans. Okay, just the same. So hey, thank you from my family to yours, our family to yours. Thank you for joining us on Real Food Blog. You can catch us on Periscope and on YouTube, as well as Real Food Blog on Facebook. We'll see you next time right here on Real Food Blog.